Listen, Chiefs fans, something happened in Kansas City today that changed the mood for the entire fan base. For weeks, the topic was the same: recovery, patience, anticipation. Everyone knew the main goal was to get Patrick Mahomes ready for the start of the season. And today, on the first day of OTA, the fans finally saw with their own eyes what had been promised for months. Before continuing, subscribe to the channel now and activate the bell, because in the coming days, the behind-the-scenes of the Chiefs practices will bring huge updates, and you'll be able to follow everything first here on Red Kingdom Chiefs Fans. When the images started circulating, the fans noticed immediately. Mahomes didn't just show up to observe. He entered the field, helmet on, ball in hand, participating in the activities. And to understand the weight of this, you need to remember the context. On December 14th, against the Chargers, in a non-contact play, Mahomes tore the ACL and LCL of his left knee. Surgery the next day. Recovery of this type usually takes 9 to 12 months. We're less than 6 months away from surgery, and he's already on the field. But there's an honest detail that needs to be said, and it's precisely what separates those who understand soccer from those who just repeat headlines. This isn't a surprise, it's planned. Andy Reid himself had already warned that Mahomes could participate in part of OTA. GM Reid and Veach said he's way ahead of schedule, and this first phase of OTA is non-contact. No offense versus defense, exactly the safest environment for him to unleash his arm again. In other words, it's not a hidden miracle. It's a well-designed, step-by-step return, and perhaps that's why it matters so much. Because the Chiefs don't need to discover who Patrick Mahomes is. They need to rebuild offensive speed, adjust to new targets, regain rhythm. OTA doesn't define the season, but it defines preparation. Every repetition now is chemistry. Every throw is confidence. Every practice is less time lost when training camp starts in July. And the clock started ticking today. The most interesting thing was the team's behavior. No exaggerated celebration. No miraculous comeback talk. Everything was controlled, as if internally they already expected to see this progress, because in fact they did. And when an organization accustomed to fighting for titles remains calm in a situation like this, there's usually confidence in the process. Now comes the most important part. How will Mahomes respond in the next practices? Will he increase his participation? Will he move more outside the pocket? Will he recover those improvisations that decided so many games? These answers don't yet exist. The pivots, the side turns, the out-of-base shots, that's the hardest part of knee recovery, and nobody's going to force that too early. But one thing changed today. For the first time since the surgery, it stopped seeming like a distant return. It became something real. It wasn't an interview. It wasn't a rumor. It wasn't behind-the-scenes talk. It was Patrick Mahomes on the field. And that, in Kansas City, always changes the level of the conversation. Now comment below, do you believe Mahomes is really on track to play in Week 1? Or should the Chiefs hold him back a little longer to avoid risking his knee? And subscribe to the channel, because this story is just beginning. Go Chiefs!